There's a type of Mayavadi philosopher who sometimes presents himself as if he's God himself. And when asked, how can you be God? You're forced to take the body of a dog or a cat or some low species. And they sometimes say, oh, it's my pastime. When I'm in these bodies, when I'm apparently suffering, it's not that I'm actually suffering. I'm enjoying my pastimes. That's what they say. So Prabhupada's addressing that discussion, because that's certainly not the fact. There is such a thing as the Lord. God, there's only one. But he appears in different forms. Advaitam Achyutam Anadam Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayoganam. He has unlimited forms. But his original form, Shyamasundar form, the Krishna form, two-handed Krishna playing on a flute, ever youthful, never grows old. The Mayavadis would also have their followers believe that their form that they are taking now is something spiritual. And when they have to go through death and disease, old age, birth again, that's just their pastime. This way they're trying to trick people into worshiping them as God. And partly because of this, there's been a strong resistance to accepting many aspects of the so-called Mayavad philosophy, impersonal philosophy coming from the East, because it certainly is not accurate. In other words, not everyone can become God. There's only one God. Not that there's two or many or numerous, or everyone is God. These ideas are absurd. There is one God, but he can appear in different forms. And he does. Krishna shows himself appearing sometimes as a cowherd boy, sometimes as a kshatriya, a warrior, king, sometimes as a Brahmin, a sage, very learned, or sometimes as an animal, like he appears in the body of as a boar, because boars have bodies that are very well suited for removing big dirty things from a big plot of water or some material elements there, liquid. And that was actually required. The Earth globe as we know it, or Bhumandala also called, had fallen down into the bottom of the Garbhodak Ocean in the center of the universe. And it could not be dislodged, couldn't be removed, because it had fallen down. And it's a huge, gigantic body of water. So the Lord appeared as a boar, and as boars do, he went down into the liquid, and he pulled out the earth. He lifted the earth up on his tusk. This is a wonderful pastime. This is a pastime. Not that someone just makes up some little story about what he likes to do, and he calls that his pastime. So that's not accepted. And one who's interested in understanding Vedic knowledge will need to hear the Vedas explained by a Bhagavata like Shukadev Goswami or Vyasadeva or His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. These are Mahatmas or Bhagavatas. They have perfect knowledge and they can explain what's happening. You say that you people are those followers of Krishna, that they can become perfect. So how is it possible that an ordinary person can become perfect? And they criticize that. They think that's a flaw in the philosophy. But actually, a devotee of Krishna, he doesn't think himself to be God, perfect in that regard, as God is perfect. But perfect in the sense that he's heard correctly from the perfect source, and therefore what he speaks will be perfect knowledge. For example, even a child, father tells the child that this is a dictaphone. So the child says, this is dictaphone. Even though he doesn't know all the details, but his information he's given, that's what he heard, gave that perfectly. So then his statement is, you can't find any fault in it. He says, my father said, this is a dictaphone machine. That's perfect. Similarly, one who teaches Krishna consciousness as it's taught by Krishna and his representatives is also a perfect teacher in the line. Thank you.